All right, Coach. Well, sunny Southern California is anything but on this afternoon. Gray skies and rain in the forecast here at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson. Today, it's a matchup in the AFC West between the Oakland Raiders and our home team. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Now Carr on the bootleg. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. Zay Jones was the intended receiver. And it's second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Carr going to throw, and that is incomplete.
He'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. From the gun, it's Carr. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Chargers set to take over again on offense. Earlier we discussed Phillip Rivers and what his future might be. But for the Chargers collectively, it's sort of been a strange year. Remember last season, they got into the playoffs. They won a playoff game in Baltimore. So there was some offseason momentum, a lot of excitement into this season. But then they started 2-5. Never really got the train on the tracks. Couple of 3-game losing streaks that ultimately doomed their playoff hopes. And now, remember, next year, moving to share the new SoFi Stadium with the Rams in the 2020 season. Will they be packing all of the pieces that are currently on their roster? We mentioned Rivers, Melvin Gordon, Travis Benjamin, Hunter Henry, all unrestricted free agents next season. A lot of questions to answer for the Chargers. Gordon looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
On 3rd down, Rivers. Going up top. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 29. Rivers to Allen on the hook up there. 52 yards. A nice little completion there by Phillip Rivers. And you and I were reading the article yesterday, 5th grade. Rivers had to do a project where he had to make a poster about his dreams and aspirations. So he clipped out a football player from a magazine article and pasted his face on the helmet. That's what he wanted to be, and it turned out okay.
Not so bad at all. Remember, he's the son of a coach. Yep. And on that play, I think he made the old coach proud with that completion.
Ready, 390. Mike 51. Bring it.
Play fake to Gordon. Now Rivers looking for the end zone. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You played through the receivers, and on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. To throw, Rivers. It's caught, Patton. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
So now then the penalty's got them set up with a 1st and goal. They'll try and punch it in. Gordon. And Gordon will work his way in for a Charger touchdown. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. As the Raiders set up for this next drive, you know, it's strange to think about this team moving to Las Vegas in 2020. Final home game back on December 15th in Oakland. They lost that game to Jacksonville, but what a storied franchise. Great years in Oakland. Then they moved to Los Angeles, came back to Oakland, and the run the second time around in Oakland since '95 has not been as strong. Under 500 as a team since coming back. They didn't have the one Super Bowl appearance in Super Bowl 37, but kind of a strange ending in a season that won't end in the playoffs before they head out to Las Vegas next year. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
They run it with a rookie from Alabama, Josh Jacobs. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
So now 3rd and 10. A big play to start the drive, but nothing since. To throw, it's Carr. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Rivers to throw it. Complete. Hunter Henry with a grab. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Well, last year, Henry really looked poised for a prime breakout season, but then May 22nd, tore his ACL during OTAs, ruled out for the year. Actually was added to the active roster in a pretty heroic return for their playoff clash with New England, but did not play. 29 career games for Henry, 12 touchdowns, and now with Antonio Gates' career coming to a close, they expect a lot out of the 24-year-old Hunter Henry. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
They'll keep it on the ground. This time it's Gordon. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They run it here with Gordon. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Rivers now. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. So possession 1 ended in 6. Possession 2 likely going to end in a punt.
Yeah, that's okay. They've just got to get back to what they worked on in the opening drive and continue to make a few adjustments along the way. It won't be exact because the defense will make a few adjustments themselves. Just get back to your game plan.
And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. And now Oakland ready to take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Get him, boys.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. An extra cornerback now in the game for the Chargers here on 3rd. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Oakland. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Here's a Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right. When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Fights him off. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Now Gordon on first down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd down, Eckler. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line.
He wasn't ready.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Rivers from the gun on 3rd down. And the catch made. It's Patton. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. An effective 7-yard 3rd down conversion. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Ricky. 89.
Rivers hands off to Eckler. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that, got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
On 3rd down, Rivers. And Henry going to bowl his way in. Touchdown, Chargers. A 24-yard touchdown. The Chargers, they're able to widen their lead.
That score was not a game clincher by any stretch of the imagination. But the other team now has to be careful to not let this game begin to slip away.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet. And try.
It got his man complete. It's a gain of 34 for an offense that has not found the end zone yet. That's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Carr now to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Carr, he's going to find and complete it to Renfro. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Come on now, let's go.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Carr again. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Carr will try it again on 2nd down. Over the middle, complete. It's Jacobs. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
Right there.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On the draw, Richard. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. It's a 1st down following a gain of 3.
They had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but 3rd and short definitely was a great time to dial one up.
The Raiders into the red zone for the first time. 1st and 10 right at the 20. To throw is Carr. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Darren Waller, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you've got to key on because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. And in this case, he had the play. They just didn't complete it.
Carr again here on 2nd and 10. Drops this off to Richard. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Carr gives to Richard, and he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Now it looks like we've got a Raider here slow to get up. We'll step aside and come back to Carson after this. Fourth down, and on comes the Raider kicker, Daniel Carlson. A 33-yarder from the left hash. The kick by Carlson is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. Last season for Carlson, bit of a strange rookie year. Won the Vikings job, then was let go week 2 after going 0 for 3, but he picked things back up.
Remember, he was drafted to cure their kicking woes, and he ends up going 0 for 3 against Green Bay, including the potential game winner. Gets cut, picked up by the Raiders, 16 for 17 the rest of the season. I'd say at the end of the year, a pretty good success story.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Here comes the Chargers offense now back out onto the field. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way. I have a little bit of a cushion.
Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Tahir Whitehead. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. Now after the INT, it's Carr. His throw incomplete. They were trying to get it to DeAndre Washington. And that'll bring up second down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. To throw again on second down, Carr. The open man here, Renfro. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Now the Raiders going to burn their third and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Operating from the gun, Carr. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfro. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's first and goal. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach? All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So Rivers will lead the Chargers up first and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now this one complete on the slant route. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Gordon, a Pro Bowler for the second time last season, 885 yards, 10 touchdowns, and that was only in 12 games played a season ago. And he also switched jersey numbers in the offseason from 28 to 25, and 25, that's the number he wore when he was dominating the Big Ten college gridiron for the Badgers of Wisconsin. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, it's Rivers, and that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Here's Ty Long now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10, kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Now, that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Check three.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
We're good.
From the gun, Carr. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Carr to throw. And that will be incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? But it definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Black 15. Like the 59. You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. Showed a good move, but quickly corralled just beyond the 10-yard line. It was Maurice Hurst who got him down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Kill.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Rivers finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Running on 1st down, Eckler. In on the stop, it's Tahir Whitehead. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
You might be getting tired of seeing me.
Rivers, he leaves to Eckler on the draw. And an alley to run. And out across midfield down to the 45. 22 yards there, a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On 2nd and 2, Rivers. He'll get this to Eckler. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. He'll get a couple yards on that one, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Here we go, let's bring it. Let's go, let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Caught by Allen. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. The Charger first down. Rivers hooking up with Allen.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Rivers. That's complete to Williams out of the backfield. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Charger first. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Rivers with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. To the air again here, Rivers. And this is complete. It's Allen. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
1st and goal, Melvin Gordon. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
I'm going to hit you all.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Hey.
Throwing, Rivers. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? And he won't get to the markers. They're going to stop it for a 2nd straight play right at the line of scrimmage. This is a long drive. Offensively, wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Tyrell Williams was the intended target, but it'll be second down. Derek Carr, 3 fourth-quarter comebacks for the Raiders last year, and they only won 4 games total, so they've got some experience dealing with tight ones. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. On 3rd and long, it's Carr. He'll find his running back here, Richard. 6 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down. He got out of bounds. That's a good thing, but still short of the first.
And now, since this brings up 4th down, the defensive play caller, grab your nerves, because now you don't want to be so amped up that you give them a first down by getting out of your lanes, but you also don't want to just lay back and let them have it easily.
The Raiders do snap it. It's Carr. And that is incomplete. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And the Chargers will get the football back in excellent field position. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that when that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Hunter Henry. That'll bring up 2nd down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Chargers on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Rivers. On the screen, this is Eckler. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
Badgley able to knock this one through, and that'll push the lead up to 17. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Carr now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Carr. Renfro bringing it in over the middle. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard. Carr will find his tight end. That's Waller. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything, so it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Here I come.
They'll go for it. It's Carr. And this is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Charger defense stands tall, and they get the football back. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Chargers in good field position to start out. 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line.
Yeah, baby.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
This is Gordon as they go to him again. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Ready. Ready. Watch the run. Watch the run.
Now Rivers going to give it off to Gordon. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. Here's Ty Long now as he's on to punt for L.A. And he uncorks a beauty. Best of the day. So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say so long from Southern.